Well, greetings and salutations, one and all, to the one and only Super Review Show's Mixed Bag, coming to you live once again from many caves. As always, I am joined by the esteemed panel of panelists here at the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag. Bill Murphy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good tonight. How are you?
Doing well. Justin Favaro, you're back. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a nice vacation.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed your vacation, of course. And Allie, how are you doing? I know this is weird for you, but how are you doing?
Hair?
My hair? Oh, I dyed a little bit. It's okay. For our listeners, you can't see this, and Vinny, how are you doing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm good.
JT is slowly but surely becoming a Weasley. Probably trying to get cast in a new TV show.
Maybe I
He
was.
does scream Gryffindor vibes in a way.
Okay.
Very bold and outgoing.
So yes, for those of you who don't know and only listen to our show, I dyed my hair. It's a little bit more lighter, if you will. If you watch our content for any period of time, I had dark, really black dark hair, but now
Which
I have.
is perfect. Why?
Yeah, it's okay. But lo and behold, we have a really fun topic for you tonight out there. Bill Murphy, what is our topic again?
Our topic tonight is we all have our favorite directors, and this is one of the hardest lists. Our top 5 favorite directors.
And not only that, but our favorite film by that director. This is it was difficult, not gonna lie. It's a very difficult list to come up with. But we're gonna go on the round table and just discuss a couple of honorable mentions, and then we're gonna get into what our top 5 in no particular order. When we say top 5, we don't mean strictly this is our number 1, number 2 guy. We which mean these are like our generic top 5 directors that we've ever had and that we love their films to this day, and they're our favorite film by them as well. This is we're doing great, guys. We're doing great. So listen, Allie, why don't you start us off right now? What is your number? Who has honorable mentions? I know Allie has honorable mention. What do you got?
Like 1 or 2.
Okay, Allie, you go first. Honorable mention?
Ooh,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna call this one very underrated and probably new out there a little bit. Taika Waititi.
Okay.
I'm about to say that. Just
good pick.
I mean, you have 2 good movies from him. One of my favorite Marvel movies on like my top 10, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yep.
Was that his directorial debut? No, it wasn't.
No, he did What We Do in the Shadows and The Hunt for the Wilder People before that.
Yes. And also probably another good movie too from him. And probably should have won the Oscar that year, Jojo Rabbit.
Oh my god, that's probably my favorite year of the 2010s.
Yes. I was pissed off when that movie did not win Best Picture.
I mean, I kind of saw that coming. But it won for screenplay, which I was happy about.
Right. Probably I'm also switching a little bit on my list a little bit here. I'm actually also giving a shout out to Tim Burton, and I'm not going to say why. Honestly, we've done this before. I want to say probably when I officially became a Super Review Show member. You can go watch the top 5. Is it 10 or 5? Tim Burton.
We did top 5.
5.
Burton
go watch it. You'll see why.
You go back and listen to that too.
No.
I forgot about him too.
I'm done.
All right. Bill, you had an honorable mention, right?
Yes, I'm going to say Stanley Kubrick.
Ooh, okay.
Good one.
Okay.
His
All right.
dark, eerie style, I think, is just brilliant. My favorite film by him, of the 2 I've only seen in full length, I would say has got to be The Shining.
I love this
Exactly.
guy.
Great.
Could not love The Shining more.
Kubrick's fantastic. If just on a side, if you've never seen any of Stanley Kubrick's movies, you're missing out. He was one of the best to ever do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Justin, you have, if I'm not mistaken, you have any honorable mentions or no?
I have a couple.
Go ahead.
First off, Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, how could I forget about him?
He was great.
I forgot about him too.
Some of the greatest 80s movies and some of the 90s movies he did were amazing too. But let's be honest, diminishing returns as of late.
Yeah.
Marty Scorsese, some of the best crime movies out there, but given his massive filmography, I've only seen a few of his movies.
He's done a lot.
Yeah.
And Chris Nolan,
Honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
because when I was really went down and think about it, for me, he had the Dark Knight trilogy,
Correct.
he had Dunkirk,
Oh yeah,
and he
that's
had
right.
Oppenheimer.
Dunkirk.
And Oppenheimer too. That's right. We forgot about that.
Oh yes.
This picture
Like,
2023.
but besides that, I really haven't seen / enjoyed any of his other movies.
Not even
Did he
Inception.
do Interstellar?
Okay.
I did not enjoy Interstellar.
I actually like that movie a lot. Great soundtrack.
Okay, gotcha. No worries, no worries. That's why we're here, guys. We're here to talk about all film subjective. Vinny, you listed it. You didn't go yet. What are
I
some
have
of
a
your
single honorable mention.
Talk to me.
Quentin Tarantino.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
So I love Quentin Tarantino's work. Hateful Eight, Kill Bill, of course. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being my absolute favorite.
Ooh.
Love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow.
I like the way it happily rewrote certain tragedy in Hollywood. And it definitely really made the vibe work. I love DiCaprio's work in it. Brad Pitt was hysterical. But, of course, I just love that ending. It was, and they actually foreshadow it a little bit near the beginning. Love that movie.
All right. No worries. Those are honorable mentions of some of the directors we admire and we love the most right here at the Super Review Show. I'm gonna go last in this case. I was just messaging my dear co-host Bill about something. So who wants to kick us off?
That means
Justin.
it's me going.
Allie's
say
going.
again?
Wait. So I'm
Who
going.
wants to go first for their number 5?
It's me.
Allie, go
Yeah,
for it.
because we had this conversation before. We were supposed to be going first.
Oh yes, sorry about that.
So
I know.
then
Yeah.
technically it was supposed to be you and then me. So I guess in my case, it's me who's going.
Okay, I can go last then.
You sure, Joe?
No, let's go.
All right, go for it.
Yes, we can do it.
We got this.
Okay. So in no order, my 5th favorite director is actually probably someone who really defines the anime movie era, Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's just one of the most unique directors that are out there. Probably of any of his animated films that he's made, almost all of them have won Best Animated Picture. Spirited Away, The Boy and the Heron. If I'm missing any, I don't know.
Howl's Moving Castle, was that him?
Yes.
Yeah.
My Friend Totoro, I mean,
What about that one?
Kiki's Delivery Service.
that is actually my favorite Hayao Miyazaki movie. It just, he tells of a great coming of age story about a young girl trying to, figure out her life.
Yeah. So that is Allie's number 5. Justin, why don't you go next? Why don't you name your number 5? And again, this is in no particular, but this is some of the directors that we admire the most.
Okay.
Justin, your number 5.
So my number 5, and this is gonna shock a lot of people that I put this guy above all of my honorable mentions, is Mel Brooks.
Oh shit! I left him off my list.
Oh God!
Oh, come on, Bill.
I love Mel Brooks.
I'm a Jew. I'm required by Jewish law to put him on my list.
Dang it!
Oh,
You're
that's a good one.
I'm Jewish too, okay? You're just embarrassed the Jewish woman here.
All right. Justin, tell me why.
Because the man is the funniest director I've ever seen. Like his work from the 60s to the 90s have made me laugh more than anyone in the world. Young Frankenstein is visually awesome, as well as a gut busting crowd pleaser. Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
Wolf. Enough said.
Blazing Saddles. Young Frankenstein.
And come on, the producers. That's the one that won him his Oscar.
And a Tony.
We're talking exactly. We're talking about an EGOT winning director here.
Yeah,
EGOT status is pretty big.
it really is.
Tony.
Well, I'm just okay. This is the. Nah, I'll say it later. Actually, no. What will there ever be a Blazing Saddles musical?
Oh my god!
He did Young Frankenstein. He did the producers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, I saw Young Frankenstein on Broadway when I was 14, 15.
That happened?
Wait, say again?
I did not know that was a thing.
It was a thing. Back in 2009, Young Frankenstein was on Broadway. It was really good.
Oh man, how do I regret missing that?
I think the guy who played Dr. Frankenstein was Roger Bart.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a good
Something
pick.
like that. And at the end of it, when they were doing the curtain calls and all that, and next week, Blazing Saddles.
Nice.
It'll never happen.
Oh.
I don't think it will.
I don't know how you can make a musical out of Blazing Saddles. I just
I mean, they made an animated movie about based on Blazing Saddles like 2 years ago.
was it as good?
No,
I'm not surprised.
they replaced the racial element with dogs and cats.
No.
Oh boy.
I
And
don't even
instead
want
of a sheriff in a western, it was a samurai.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, I think I
No.
know what you're talking about now.
Yep.
Is it the one with Samuel L. Jackson in it?
Yep.
Okay, that should never have existed.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
don't even want to think about it.
Nope. All right. Are you? Is
right.
that your? Do you yield? I'm sorry. Do you yield?
Yeah, I yield.
All right. So we go with Allie. We did Justin. Bill, are you all
Yes.
set? All right. Talk
Okay,
about it.
JT's gonna hate me for this one.
Oh no.
My number 5 is Christopher Nolan.
I'm not gonna kill you for that. It's fine. I'm
Choice.
not gonna kill you for that. It's fine.
It's just that, you know what? I don't even
Sharpening
know.
his knives, Bill.
This is a hard list to make.
Wait,
What was that, Justin?
He's sharpening his knives, Bill.
Oh,
He's
stop.
not.
This
I
is
really
a
am.
hard
Bill,
list to make.
just
You know,
bring in
I
the
don't even know who's in my
Oppenheimer.
top 5, but
Oh, Oppenheimer. Didn't
I'm
even see
seeing
that.
Oppenheimer.
okay, can you guys let me talk, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright.
Okay, I love what he did to the Batman series. I love what he did to the Batman series. I love what he did, you know, especially the more realistic feeling to it. But my favorite movie by him was always The Dark Knight, but guess what might be replacing it?
Is it Oppenheimer?
Yeah, it's a toss-up between Dark Knight and Oppenheimer.
Wolf.
Because here's the thing, I love The Dark Knight. Probably my favorite Batman movie. I loved Heath Ledger as a Joker. I think that Joker was good for its universe.
Hmm.
And I liked Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he's the best Batman. But the film has this realistic feeling that I just love and just, yeah. But anyway, Oppenheimer, which, okay, there's a little bit of recency bias.
I mean, it's been almost 2 years now.
Almost. He's right.
And I loved the film. And I just loved the writing in that film was absolutely brilliant. Like when the bomb's going off and he's like, I'm now the destroyer of worlds.
And then you hear the roar.
And I think with Christopher Nolan, this was the film. This was the film that I think this is the one he needed. I think I could not see anyone else doing this film.
So, how excited are you for the Odyssey?
I think this could probably. I'm excited for this one. I don't know. I think he could do a good job here.
Chris Nolan doing a sword and sandal epic.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So I would actually consider that. Yeah, so I would actually think I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that.
Mhm.
So yeah, my number 5 is sorry JT, Christopher Nolan.
Sorry, JT. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Vinny, what do you got for your number 5, quote unquote, of your director? And
You're
your
all
film-
going to be shocked by this.
and your movie too.
Okay,
but
let's
go
hear
on.
it.
Michael Bay. The man has got it. And even though he has some real stinkers, I got to admit, when the man's on, he is on. I mean, I know it's not a popular choice, but of course, not just because of my love of this series since I was a little boy, but also because of one of my favorite series up until the 5th one. Favorite Michael Bay movie? Transformers. What more do you need? Linkin Park, cool cars transforming into robots, and a surprisingly good amount of depth throughout the 4 I saw. Let us not ever speak of The Last Night. But yeah, I love Michael Bay. He's had some other good movies, of course. Armageddon to an extent, but not completely. That's the one. Pain and Gain was really good too. I also didn't hate the Baywatch movie, oddly enough. So my number 5, before I yield, Michael Bay.
I guess it's my turn for my number 5.
Yep.
You bring shame to yourself, Vinny. Shame on your family, and shame on your cow.
Yeah. There's worse directors. Have you not seen like Uwe Boll?
Good point.
Good point.
Yes.
Fair enough.
All right.
Don't say anything about Uwe Boll.
I don't even want to think about him.
Oh dear God.
Justin, what happens when we say things about Uwe Boll?
There is the mention of Uwe Boll is like a collective brown note.
Because what happens when you mention Uwe Boll?
What?
You don't even want to know what I think.
Good.
All right. Well, my number quote unquote 5 comes down to, as I mentioned from the top of the show, I have no honorable mentions because this was a very difficult list to make. But for me, at the same time, it was kind of like, if I weave it down to just which ones I can do, I can easily piece together and figure it out. So my number 5 is, believe it or not, guys, it's actually Quentin Tarantino.
Good choice.
Tarantino, as unique as his films are, as unique as not The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's Clint Eastwood. I'm trying to think. The Magnificent Seven remake, or even I mean, like the dude.
That's Anton Fuqua.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry, someone says thank you, Justin. It's always been something. He's always been a daredevil, so to speak, with films. Like he's not afraid to experiment around with like how plot goes, how story details go, and things like that. I've always enjoyed probably one of the most. When I first saw it, I was very confused by it. Like how does this connect to that? How does this connect to that? It was Pulp Fiction. But the more I watched it, I was like, this is. It was his first. I believe it was his first movie, right? Justin, if I'm not mistaken, it was his first film.
Reservoir Dogs was his first.
That's a good one.
But to answer the topic though, Pulp Fiction is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. That might be a hot take for some people, but it's hard to. It's hard to argue against that film because we could go read a whole Dr. Thesis about the year 1994, but let's be real, that was one of the best movies that year.
Yeah.
Period. And I would say Forrest Gump and Shawshank Redemption. We've talked about that before.
Shawshank.
Yeah.
But this one, Pulp Fiction and Quentin Tarantino specifically, he was not afraid to experiment around with different story elements like plot details or anything like that. So that's why my number 5 is Quentin Tarantino, of my favorite directors. Allie, number 4, so to speak. What do you got?
Right. So someone who actually, I'm just looking this up now, actually started during the silent film era and created probably Britain's first talkie movie. Also known for being the master of suspense. My number 4 pick is Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
Okay.
Good one.
Like,
Great pick.
when you think of horror movies, when you think of thriller movies, when you try to think of it being classic, as much as I do love Kubrick's The Shining,
Yeah.
I think Hitchcock is the one that brought. Maybe I would say he's the grandfather
He really
of
is.
thriller movies.
He did a lot. If you don't know the history of Hitchcock, get on it. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
His movie 39 Steps was probably one of the greatest British films of the 20th century. Psycho, amazing.
Of course.
One of my favorites, probably The Birds. Just.
Yep.
And I didn't know he actually worked with Cary Grant, James Stewart, Ingrid Bergman, and Grace Kelly in movies.
Yes. All true.
And he won a few Oscars for directing, right?
Oh yeah. A few. I don't remember exactly how many, but I know he won a few.
Yeah.
And he actually became an American citizen in 1955, too.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. And 9 of his films have been selected to be in preservation in the United States National Film Registry as of 2021. And it's including his
Interesting.
personal favorite, Shadow of a Doubt.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you?
Justin. Number 4.
All right, so my number 4, and this might have a little bit of recency bias to this one, but I really think this guy's going places. It's Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Didn't you just have him on your honorable mention? Oh, no. Wait. Duh.
Okay. Go on.
So, this man has directed 4 theatrically released films so far.
Mm.
3 of those films are derivative of some sort of source material, be it true events, a spin-off, or an entry in the MCU.
Right.
Then came a movie called Sinners.
Just came
I
out.
still haven't seen it.
I want to see it so bad.
Don't spoil it.
It was a movie that you really needed to see in IMAX. Oh my god. That movie gave me cinematic goosebumps. It was just, it did things that I didn't know that you could do, and I was just blown away. And I actually think that this man will be the next Spielberg.
Mm.
That's a good, that's a good claim. Bold but fair.
That, I know how bold of a claim that is,
I mean,
but
anything's possible.
look what just happened. An original movie, $90 million budget, turning a profit.
Wow.
That's insane, not in the current day.
Yeah, especially today's
And
market.
the deal that he made for himself, where the rights to the movie revert back to him in 25 years.
Smart.
Do you know how rare such a deal is? And now that it proved successful, who knows? That might become a more common deal. We might be
Floodgates have been open.
We might be looking at the downfall of the studio system and the rise of more independent voices.
I like that.
Anything's possible. We'll have to see. So your favorite Ryan Coogler film is
Sinners.
Sinners.
Hands down.
Just
Oh
came out.
my
Okay.
god.
All right. Awesome. We haven't. The rest of us haven't seen it, but I've heard great things. Seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Do you yield? Forgive me. I interrupted.
If anyone ever gets a chance, be it a re-release or something, to see Sinners in IMAX, there are 2 scenes to look out for. One involves music,
Okay.
and one involves the climax.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Bill, my co-host, partner in crime in life. What is your
Okay,
number 4?
my number 4 is Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, he has a style that's all of his own. He has a style that's literally all his own. And I have not seen Reservoir Dogs, but we all know, and I know this sounds very stereotypical. Guess what my favorite film from him is?
Is it
Pulp Fiction?
Inglourious Bastards?
Is it? Well, damn, it's a tie between that and Pulp Fiction. Because
Make it a
I
tie.
think Pulp Fiction is the film that really put him in. Even though Reservoir Dog was his first film, I think this was the first real Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Because do 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 do, and writing in that film is absolutely brilliant, and how everything comes together. It is, and it came out the year I was born, so no bias there. Okay, maybe a little bit of bias, but you know what? Even the movies that he doesn't, that weren't my favorite, like Hateful Eight, I could still admire the ending of that film.
That's what I was thinking before. Yeah.
Like
Bill.
that scene when what?
Check out on Netflix the extended version of the Hateful Eight. It's broken up. It's broken up into 4 episodes, so you can actually watch it like a mini series.
I didn't know that existed.
And yeah, I'll take a look at that. But what's so great about I really do like the ending of Hateful Eight, even though I didn't really like the film in general. I really like the ending when Samuel L. Jackson, who plays one of these, plays one of the lawmen, and there's this sheriff who is like very racist, but they end up working together at the end.
Played by the great Walton Goggins.
They have, because they said he has this letter from Abraham Lincoln, and they say it's fake, but then after what they did, they're like, can I see that letter? And I just love that scene when they're sitting there reading the letter. And it shows that, 2 men of different races can actually go together, no matter how many times Spike Lee attacks Quentin Tarantino.
Spike Lee.
Yeah, Django Unchained was really good too.
I love that movie.
So yeah, and this is a man who brought his own style that defined the 90s.
Correct.
And even into the 2000s. So my number 4, Quentin Tarantino.
All right.
Also, I forgot to talk about a movie. Sorry.
You're good.
Inglourious Bastards is freaking awesome.
It really is.
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards is freaking awesome. And it's just the blood, the bullets, the beauty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The dead Nazis.
And I love so I'm sure when you go to your little Nantucket Island, you're gonna look good in that. You're gonna take off that good looking SS uniform. Well, I'm gonna give you something.
Everybody else.
What was that?
And I just can't have that.
I'm gonna give you something you can't take off. And he does the.
I think I just made my masterpiece.
Hey, but Colonel Hans Landa, you got to admit, as much of a dirtbag he is, played brilliantly by Christoph Waltz.
Oh my god, I don't know if I love how much I hated or hated how much I loved him. Somewhere in between that.
Yeah, so my number 4, Quentin Tarantino.
All right, Vinny.
So my number 4, also 2 quick things before we get on to my number 4. Bill, fun fact with Django Unchained, you know his cameo in it?
Who?
Ed Neely of Jesus Christ Superstar fame.
Really?
I found that out from my dad, and I was like, oh my god. What was the second thing? When it comes to people that you have so good at their roles that you have to hate them, of course, Paul Giamatti in Love and Mercy.
Okay.
Still can't forgive him to this day. It's just too, yeah. But my number 4, not sure how many of you happen to have seen the movie Tommy. Ken Russell. Ken Russell is actually, when it comes to the whole flash and the glitz of music-based movies, the man has very few, if any, equals. And of course, my favorite movie is Tommy. Listomania is also pretty good, but I haven't seen that in the whole thing yet. But I love how he can somehow get a good acting gig out of Roger Daltrey and a bunch of people. I love how it basically made me I'll never look at Tina Turner the same way again. Still scared of her. I love him,
especially with that lip twitch.
In general. The man had it. I wish he was still here. Ken Russell, I yield. Number 4.
All righty, you heard it here first. That's Vinny's number 4. My number 4 is, man, like I said from the top, making this list was very, very difficult. But believe it or not, it's maybe because I have an old soul, but at the same time, I really do enjoy. The more I watch a lot of this director's films, the more I can really, truthfully get like behind his vision of the film, behind his creativity, and that is none other than Martin Scorsese.
Ooh, good choice.
Martin Scorsese. It's really we're doing this list of just 5 generic directors that we enjoy and love and talk about all the time amongst our friends. But let's be real. Martin Scorsese is, objectively speaking, one of the best to ever do it, hands down. He is one of the best directors. Now, picking out a favorite movie by him, good luck with that. Unfortunately, I had to for this podcast tonight. That being said, I really do believe in the power of cinema. I believe in the power that movies can bring to people's lives and change people. But listen, it's Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a damn good movie. If you, those of you who are like, I'm 26 when I'm recording this podcast. If you out there know someone who's like under the age of 20 and likes like quote unquote older movies, Goodfellas, get on it. It is a masterpiece of a movie. I know Bill and I have talked. Bill and I believe Justin too, have talked about that movie before. When we talked during our movies, the decades we talked about in the 90s. That was like the first one we touched on. Was 1990 was Goodfellas, and that soundtrack and the movie, everything about that movie was fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah. But Goodfellas is my favorite Scorsese movie. It's hard to pick. Guys. But we just go out.
You pick your favorite child, right, JT?
What's that, Vinny? I'm sorry.
You pick your favorite child. It's difficult.
I know. It's okay. I have 5 kids, which is my favorite. No, all right, jump over to Allie for your
one
number.
that cost me the least
I was
money.
thinking about this one tougly, and I'm like, I had it for one, and I'm like thinking, oh wait, I didn't talk about this one. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just talk about both of them in this one? Let's just put this one. My number 3 is a little bit of MCU, maybe a little DCEU.
Oh.
So it's a tie. What?
Did we just swipe right?
Uh-oh.
Wait. Which one are we talking about?
Did you just choose James Gunn?
Yes,
Oh my god!
as one.
Wow.
Bob,
It was
sending
Buck.
that one to you. You could talk about James Gunn in this one.
Oh no, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was thinking the other one was the Russo brothers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Figure it
All
out.
right. You do Russo brothers. I'll do James Gunn.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll
Deal.
work at it that way.
Collaborate.
Like, let's put it this way: when you think of the MCU, the directors you're thinking of are the Russo brothers. Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody else. I mean, you could think of Taika Waititi. You could think of James Gunn, but most likely you're thinking of the Russo brothers. From their start in The Winter Soldier to the upcoming 2 Avengers movies, which with the cast we've seen and what like comedy, tragedy, both of those movies are gonna have, you know that they're gonna have good movies. And what was it, for a short time that Endgame became the highest grossing movie of all time?
Yep.
I forgot
Not
about that.
adjusted for inflation.
No. It
That
should
is
still been the highest grossing movie of all time. And I think it's one of the longest Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
It's
3
long.
hours, 1 minute. That's all I could say. It's like, you see a good MCU movie, it's made by the Russo brothers. And for me, much as I do like Endgame, everyone will know my favorite MCU movie will be the Infinity Wars for now.
Yeah. Infinity War was.
But
Ain't that a
Well-
kick in the head?
Endgame was the best,
Awesome.
wrap up of it, though.
It really
Oh my
was.
god. Probably the best movie theater experience of my life.
Yes.
I agree.
I can't wait to see
It
what
was
they
up
do with
there.
Secret Wars and with Doomsday. Which one's first? Doomsday, right?
Doomsday is going to be first. That one I'm a little more skeptic on because they still need to introduce Doctor Doom.
That's easy. Post-credit scenes of a Fantastic Four.
I agree.
It should be Mads Mikkelsen. He should be Doom. No one else.
Sorry,
it's
it was
Robert
Robert
Downey Jr..
I mean the real Doctor Doom. RDJ is obviously going to be Doom from another universe. You can't have RDJ be the Doom for all the universes. It's not possible.
I mean,
Well-
it's true.
Well, RDJ Doom might kill all the other Dooms.
I would literally
Because
walk
Doom
out
is
of-
that
it's
spiteful.
I hate that idea so much.
All right.
All right.
All right. You go. So you both swiped right technically, but you both didn't at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
So now
So-
Justin can talk about James Gunn.
There you go.
All right. So James Gunn started out as a writer for hire. Started out doing movies for Trauma, who were more exploitation based.
Trauma.
Yeah. And from there, he went on writing the Scooby Doo movies. He did Dawn of the Dead remake. Then his directorial debut was Slither,
Hmm.
which, if any of you are horror fans, you know Slither. It's
Yep.
it's unique. That was the first sign that James Gunn was a unique taste. Then we got his next movie, Super, which was this complete deconstruction on the vigilante superhero, and was bleak but funny, and that's what got him the Guardians gig. And the Guardians movies are just fantastic. They're funny, they're heartbreaking, they're so character driven. That's what I love the most about James Gunn is his character work. He will take the most ridiculous, Z-list characters and give them some real pathos behind them and make you really care for them. And if you want a good example of that, go watch the Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad,
The
and
Suicide Squad.
the Suicide Squad,
Exactly.
and remember Polka Dot Man.
Yes.
I still don't know what I gotta do with the javelin.
Wait, say again?
I still don't know what I gotta do with the javelin.
You'll figure it out.
right. So all right, there goes Allie and Justin's number 2 and
And I can't wait
No, they're number
to
3
see
or number
what,
4.
that was our number
3.
3.
Sorry
And
about
I
that.
can't wait to see what he does with Superman.
And for those of you who follow us on our YouTube channel, which you should, please subscribe to us on YouTube. We do the show live Wednesday night, EST in New York. I'm not telling you where, but and South Carolina. But we also do we do out of theater reactions, and there will be the out of theater reaction to Superman later this year. We're gonna go see it, hands down, no doubt.
Superman.
All right, Bill, you're number 3.
Okay, my number 3 is Tim Burton.
Ooh, good one.
And I just want to say before I begin, no, Justin, I'm actually, for once, when it comes to Tim Burton, I'm not going to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas.
You've learned.
Well, no, mainly in this context because he didn't direct it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is my number 3 is Tim Burton, and his dark gothic storytelling is absolutely brilliant. It's the Burton-esque designs are so great, and you know what? Once you look at it, his stories are basically about people who are marginalized.
I thought about that.
Like, I would say my favorite one is actually Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, good choice.
Because it shows about how scissors represent differences and how, someone like Edward who's out on the margins. And I love the, because, you make a character who looks like a monster sympathetic.
Nice. Yeah.
Because he is very sympathetic. And I love the ending. I love the ending when the young girl asks the grandmother version of Winona Ryder that why don't you see him? Going, no, I'm old. He doesn't want to see me anymore. Saying, okay, well, what if he's but is he still alive? Going, yes. Well, how do you know he's okay? Going, it never snowed before he got here.
Oh.
It never snowed before he got here, and now it never stopped snowing.
Aww.
And yeah, so that, but another one of my favorites that's not that, I love the Batman movie, the first one, Batman Returns. I got to give it another watch.
Of course.
Oh, Batman Returns.
And not a fan of it.
Huh.
Yeah, never mind. But no, I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And the theme by Danny Elfman is absolutely brilliant. But you know what I think was actually the last good Tim Burton film, believe it or not?
Which one?
Sweeney Todd.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I love Sweeney Todd.
Stephen Sondheim said it was his favorite adaptation of a musical.
I agree.
Wow.
That it was his favorite adaptation of a musical.
Wow.
Was that before or after Spielberg did West Side Story?
Well, Sweeney Todd was in 2007, so.
Yeah.
Wait, no, didn't Sondheim die in 2021?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we could have watched the West Side Story.
Oh,
remake.
we don't know how he would have reacted to the West Side Story because he kind of died before. I don't know. Did he see it before he died?
I could have sworn I heard he saw it before he died.
I don't know what his thoughts were. I don't know. Why don't we go ask him? Oh wait, we can't.
Yep.
Okay, I've just been canceled by dead folks now, haven't I, Justin?
No, you're fine. You're good.
What
You're
happened
good.
was
No.
canceled by?
Sondheim's music is Burton's filmmaking is absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
Regardless of how you feel about him being weird, his art, his style, like even the movies that I'm not too crazy about him with, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I can at least give him respect that he wanted to adapt a book that he loved when he was a kid into his own vision. So I can at least respect him for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, my number 3 is Tim Burton.
All right, Vinny, what is your number 3, my friend, or your number 3 in this case?
So my number 3 is, of course, Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, what is there to say except, my God, the work he has done. It's just. But here's the thing about Coppola. There's one movie that towers. I mean, towers over everything else he's ever done. Apocalypse Now. I remember when I went to actually go see Apocalypse Now in IMAX a few years back with my dad. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom near the beginning. When I heard it, I rushed. I mean, bolted back in, and I sat that movie, and I loved it so much.
Awesome.
And I love Lawrence Fishburne's star-making performance. In my opinion, the man was very young when the movie was made, but it was perfect. And the making of that movie, the absolute just nightmare-making Apocalypse Now. Although I don't know. It may not have been worth it to some people, it was worth it to us audiences. I mean, it's just insane. The amount the fact they even made the movie is one thing entirely. The fact that it's literally one of the greatest movies ever made is literally a completely different beast altogether. And with that, I yield.
All right. My number 3, which might sound crazy to some people, might be insane to others, is some of you are actually gonna find. I don't know if we mentioned it or not yet, but Alfred Hitchcock.
Allie said it.
Okay, Allie said this one. Okay, mine's a little bit higher than yours. Maybe because I was raised on watching films from different decades, not just it's a 2007 rom-com on VHS tape or Blu-ray disc, or for those what those are, good for you. No, but this is, you want to talk about directing some of the best films of the 50s, of the 60s into the early 70s, maybe even the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. The dude, Alfred Hitchcock, even had a TV show called Alfred Hitchcock. It was called Alfred Hitchcock's Presents. Thank you. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Thank you, Bill, for your
Dun,
yes.
dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun,
There you go.
dun, dun. Good evening.
Yeah, if you've never, if you, and I say this to all young filmmakers out there, Justin included, if you're looking to break into and make films and study films and how to direct, how to learn how to camera tricks, all these other little things, try to watch. No, not even try. Just watch The Birds. Watch Psycho. Everyone knows Psycho. Watch North by Northwest. Watch Vertigo, for God's sake. Watch Vertigo. Watch anything this guy has ever done, because he is one of the best to ever walk the earth and put his mind and set foot on a film set and direct film. He has been dead now for I think 45 years. He died in 1980, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So he is. If you've never watched an Alfred Hitchcock movie, you have not lived. The dude is one of the best, arguably one of the best to ever direct. Period. But you have to narrow down his film to any of his films to any degree. So my personal favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie is out of the. I know I mentioned 4, but I've only seen 2 out of the 4 that I mentioned, which is, I know, shame on me. But I have to say it's The Birds, because The Birds, again, he knew how to direct horror, I think, before horror became like the prominent genre of the 70s, like with Alien, Halloween, etc. I feel like people like John Carpenter, or people like James Cameron, for that matter, too. I feel like they looked up to him a lot. I feel like they really did. He is a phenomenal director. He directed so many great films. But I have to say The Birds, because just really quick, the premise for The Birds is that the birds come down and attack people. It sounds really stupid, but when you watch the movie The Birds, it is one of the scariest films I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not a big horror guy to begin with, but if you've never seen The Birds, you're wasting your time. So I yield. My number 3 is Alfred Hitchcock, my favorite directors of all time, my top 5, and my favorite film by him is The Birds. Just on a quick side note, Vinny had to run, so he had to dip. He just texted me really quick. He had to run and do something really quick. But yeah, he's out for the night, so he's not going to finish his list. That's okay. But anyways, Allie,
I'm about to run, so I might as well just do a 2-for-1 special.
Okay, so you're going to do number 2 and number 1, and then we're going to go around the horn from there?
Yep.
Okay, give us your number 2 and your number 1, and then we'll finish this off for the 3 of us. Thank you.
All right. And if any of you guys want to swipe right, just let me know. 2 is Tarantino, 1 is Spielberg.
Okay.
So we just swiped right for both of them.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. Who's buying who?
In that exact order.
Are you kidding me?
No.
No.
If you count the Russo brothers, and if you count James Gunn, then it's a 3 swipe. Right there, you go. Just saying, am I wrong? So, anyways, I digress. No, but no.
You for any of them? Did you, JT or Bill?
I have no. My number 2 and number 1 might be a little bit different. But anyways, tell me more. What do you got?
Oh my goodness. Let's just put it this way. Tarantino is like one of those one-of-a-kind directors. Literally, I feel like, however, with his movies, it's kind of like he has like the same storyline going on, splitting the movies into a few parts. And unless you count Kill Bill, he splits into 2 movies into many parts, per se. And I see that the same concept with Pulp Fiction as well, which really probably one of his best movies. Was that the same Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Because I don't remember seeing that one.
He directed one. Yeah, he did. He directed one.
That was his last one.
And then he has one more coming up.
That is yet to be announced.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Bring us more movies.
He's doing one more, and that's it.
No, one more after that, and that's it. All right.
He wants his 10 perfect movies.
Just 10.
Okay, then if he wins, and if he doesn't get the Oscar for Best Director for his 10th perfect movie, will he do 11?
No, I think he's going to become a novelist.
Oh.
Quentin Tarantino, the novelist. But go on.
All right. So when it comes to Spielberg, I mean,
what can you
literally
say?
The icon of directors right there, bringing so many different franchises to life, bringing the Jurassic Park franchise, bringing Indiana Jones, solo movies like E.T., Close Encounter of Third Kinds, Lincoln. He did Gandhi, right?
No.
No.
That was Richard Attenborough.
Oh, that was Attenborough who did Gandhi. I thought he did. Yeah. No. Okay, then.
That's all right. You're good.
Saving Private Ryan. I mean, literally, most of the iconic movies that are Oscar nominated came from him. And I
Also-
did not have a favorite for Spielberg because literally all of his movies are iconic already in their own ways.
Yes.
So with that, I yield and I say sayonara.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, so Tarantino, Bill, you said it best when you said he has a style all on his own, and it's obvious to say that he wants to make the movies that he wants to see. You can see exactly where he gets his inspiration from. In movies like Kill Bill, you see tastes flavors of anime, all these kung fu movies and ninja movies from like the 50s, and crime movies from the 70s. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was excellent, and that's a movie that doesn't have a lot of like action in it until like the last 15 minutes, and you don't need it. You really are hanging on every word that Tarantino writes. This is a man who loves making movies, and you can tell by every frame of film.
What else can you say, right?
Um,
I agree with you.
I kind of wanted to see what he was going to do with the movie critic. Although I heard that that's going to be what the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel is going to be based off, that David Fincher is going to be directing. So yeah, we'll see what his 10th and final movie will be.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. But that's your number 2, you said, right? Number 2
That is my number 2.
All right, and you kind of alluded to what your number 1 is. We'll get that in a second. Bill, number 2.
Okay, this is going to be blasphemous that I'm putting this at number 2. I'll put in Spielberg at number 2.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. No. You're
Hey,
good.
I'm entitled to my opinion.
You are.
I know, and I'm entitled to mine.
Oh God. Tell us why.
No, I love Steven Spielberg. What's so great about him is he can do whimsy,
Oh
but he
my
can also
God.
do terrifying, such as Jaws,
Yeah.
and can also do serious films.
Schindler's List.
Yes.
Same guy.
Yeah, and because in the same year he released Jurassic Park and Schindler's List.
2 very, very different movies.
Schindler's List, that is absolutely heartbreaking to watch.
And Jurassic Park's one of the best movies of all time.
Schindler's List won him an Oscar, and Jurassic Park that just took new films in, that just took effects in different directions.
Into a new yeah.
In just new direction, in just a different direction.
Yes.
Doing stuff that we really have not seen before yet.
Or Sins.
Yeah. The effects of Jurassic Park hold up surprisingly well for a movie that's 30 plus years old.
32.
And they haven't looked as real since.
Wow, you want to know something? So I just want to say something really quick before you go on. Jurassic Park, the first one came out. We're recording this on June 4th, 2025. Yeah. That movie came out June 11th, 1993.
32 years old, huh?
Like literally almost to the day, but yeah.
No. Okay, so now it's now time for the hard question.
Yes.
What is my favorite Spielberg movie?
It's difficult.
I'm gonna have to say Saving Private Ryan is probably up there.
Okay. Great movie.
Because 1, the opening is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And 2, you see war. You see the horrors of it. And it's not just people dying, but you see people being away from their families. Like the scene when they're talking about, oh, my mom would have went right to bed. My mom would have chatted me up till dawn. And I had to pretend to be asleep. And go, why? Why did I do that? Or when Tom Hanks's character is talking about his wife. And that is also a big thing about war. It's not just thinking if you're going to die. It's about being away from your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to ask me what's my favorite whimsical Spielberg film, probably Jurassic Park. But I don't know if I consider that whimsical. It's more, help me out here, Justin. It's more
Adventure.
Yeah.
It's whimsy. It's just in the first hour. Then it becomes
And featuring the
something a little
greatest
more
character
obscure.
of all time, Justin. What is it?
T-Rex.
Rex. I'm a motherfucking T-Rex.
Yep.
I am awesome.
Boom.
JT's looking at us like we lost our goddamn minds.
That's for you, Doug Walker. We love you.
We've been going for over an hour. It's okay.
Yeah, so my number 2 is Spielberg, and I'm sure Justin can't wait to know who my number 1 is. Can you, Justin?
I think I have a guess.
Okay. And when we get to me, I will let you guess. How does that sound?
Sounds fair.
Okay, J-Man, over to you.
My number 2?
Yeah.
This might seem surprising to most people, but the more you break down this director's work, and he's mainly in the public consciousness known for like 2 movies. In the public, but he's done a lot more. Well, I just thought of the third one that I couldn't. Oh, no, actually, no. Kubrick directed. What was it? No, I said it. Sorry, I just gave it away. Crap. Sorry. My number 2 is Stanley Kubrick because I was trying to think of Hitchcock. I thought Hitchcock did The Shining for a second, but I was like, no. Stanley Kubrick. One of my favorite top 10 movies of all time is 2001: A Space Odyssey. As crazy as that sounds to some people, it is. It really does sound crazy, but it's because there's so much uniqueness and strangeness, and so much. There's so little dialogue in it, and it's just so much. It's a movie. If you I said this about Hitchcock, but if you want to study a filmmaker that's one of the best to ever do it. Clockwork Orange, anyone? Shining, anyone? 2001, anyone?
Are you going to mention the movies that any people who studying film needs to see for your number 1 as well?
No. There's only one answer for that. There's only one answer for that. No, but they're saying 2001, Clockwork Orange, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I don't think that was Kubrick.
No, that wasn't out him. That was Miles Forman.
Oh, God damn it. I thought I had that one. Anyways, I have 3. There we go. 3. No, but like Kubrick, he was a pioneer of the directing style. I mean, the way that like Spielberg, or we've talked about Spielberg for a little bit, or Tarantino is creative. You want to study like really, like truthfully, like just films that are just so films that to this day they may have come out in the 60s or 70s, but they're structured so uniquely. Like the first bit of dialogue for 2001: A Space Odyssey comes into the movie 32 minutes into the movie. That sounds really lame and stupid, but if you watch the movie, it really shows how visual art can be more of a message conveying stuff than just anyone else. I love it. But he's my number 2 though. But that's me. All right, my number 2 is Stanley Kubrick. I have an old soul, I know, but what's up?
Is it true that there's less than 1,000 words in 2001: A Space Odyssey altogether?
Let me check on that. But anyways, I yield. So who Justin goes?
Justin.
Yeah.
Okay, we already know.
I will fact check that while you're talking. But go on.
So yeah, it's Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. This man can make whatever movie he wants to make because he's fucking Spielberg.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Did you guys know that he did a superhero movie?
Really?
Oh, it wasn't Howard the Duck, was it?
It was Hook.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, let's be honest. Peter Pan was kind of the predecessor to the superhero. I was just watching a Patrick H. Willems video the other day on the history of flight in film, and he said there was before there was Superman, before there was Batman, there was Peter Pan. What's more whimsical than that? He got to do his superhero movie with Hook. Now, granted, not everyone loves Hook, but that movie has such a cult following, it's not even funny. Not to mention some of the greatest blockbusters of all time. With Jaws, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. And that's just what he directed.
Oh yeah.
He was also one of the biggest producers of the 80s and 90s through Amblin.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, this is the guy who produced Back to the Future, who produced Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
He has literally produced hundreds of movies.
This is the man who produced your childhood.
Yes, he did.
Literally, yeah.
And you want further proof? What cartoons were you watching when you were a little kid?
For us or in general?
For us.
Tiny Toons.
Tiny
Toons, maybe.
SpongeBob.
Some Animaniacs.
It's time for Animaniacs.
Yep.
Pinky and the Brain. Does all those names sound familiar?
Produced it.
Produced it.
Spielberg.
One of the best to ever do it. Probably the best. Arguably.
And something that the reason why I didn't put Robert Zemeckis on my list, but I included Spielberg, where Robert Zemeckis eventually pedaled out a little bit in his career. Spielberg still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Last movie we saw with Spielberg was The Fabelmans. I loved it. Bill was there with me when we saw
I
it.
liked it too. I really liked it.
Yeah. This man is the best to ever do it. My favorite, it's got to be one of the Indiana Jones movies.
The question is which one?
That's the question, isn't it?
It's the fourth one. Just kidding. It's not terrible, but go on.
You know what? It's not the worst.
Well,
I remember liking it when I originally saw it.
that's your childhood talking.
That is my childhood talking.
Got you there, buddy boy.
But
No, but go on. I cut you off.
See, Raiders is probably objectively the best.
Mhm.
I think I like Last Crusades a little bit more.
I like Last Crusade's my favorite.
It's great.
Temple of Doom, I like for the wrong reasons.
Where's my gun? Anyway.
But you know what? If I could say something about Spielberg, sorry I didn't say him when I had on my place. But you know what? So when he directed Schindler's List, Justin, did you know that it actually made him more proud of his Jewish faith?
I know.
Yeah.
Like there's a story when he was young, his grandfather would call him Shmuel, which is his Hebrew name.
Right.
And he would go, "Grandpa, stop it." And he goes, "But when I was making this film, it really made me feel bad for being mad at my grandfather for calling me Shmuel."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that film made him proud of his Jewish faith.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't remember if they touched upon that at all in The Fabelmans, because remember that movie is autobiographical in nature.
Yes, it is.
Justin, let me ask you something. Did that thing between him and John Ford, did that really happen?
Yes.
So that really
Almost
happened.
word by word.
When it's on the bottom, it's interesting. When it's on the top,
When the horizon's on the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When it's in the middle, it's boring as shit.
so that actually happened.
Word by word.
Wow, crazy. Do you yield? Because I have some stuff to say.
I yelled.
All right, Bill, you're number 1.
Okay, first of all, drum roll, please.
Oh my god.
A real
Yeah, I
drum.
have an actual drum.
Oh my god, he's got a real drum.
Okay, Justin, I told you could guess my number 1, so here is your chance.
It's Coppola, isn't it?
Now,
Damn.
I can give you another one.
No, go ahead.
Marty Scorsese.
Oh, okay. Respect.
Okay, I know a lot of you were probably like, whoa, why'd you pick him over Spielberg? But you know what? Come on, it's not like I picked some rando schlub over Spielberg.
You picked Jon Favreau? I'm just kidding.
But no, Marty Scorsese.
You picked the director of Captain Underpants?
Stop it.
Don't make me bring out my drum. I got a drum here.
He's got a drum. And he knows
At least it's not a cymbal.
Hey, I got 2 more drums in there. And now Justin is scared that I have drums, aren't you, Justin? Okay, my number 1 is Marty Scorsese. Is because you know what? His films have the same theme of people of sort of a Greek tragedy once you think about it. Some being on top of the world and then just going to the bottom.
Yeah.
Think about it. Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street.
Casino.
But his film, and yes, the F words, I know. But it is a real shame that this man took so long to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I love Scorsese. My favorite one, I can't, you all know what it probably is. It's Goodfellas.
Great movie.
If I had to pick other ones, I'll tell you what they are in a second. But Goodfellas is probably my favorite Scorsese movie because it has, as much as I love The Godfather is a more romanticized version of a mob. Goodfellas is a more realistic version of a mob.
Yeah.
And I think that's Scorsese's grittiness did absolutely great. Actually, Goodfellas was supposed to be rated X.
Damn.
I saw an interview with Henry Hill like a couple of years before he died. And he said that they took out a few, like 30 minutes of it to make it rated R. And he told the interviewer, if you're nice to me, I'll show it to you.
Oh my god.
Jeez,
I
I'd
hope
love
he
to
was-
see that.
And no, the film itself is great. My other favorites, I love Wolf of Wall Street. Justin and I saw that in theaters together, actually.
Yep.
And JT has not seen it.
Oh my god.
Wolf of Wall Street commentary coming soon.
All 3 hours of it, baby. Let's go.
You win, Justin?
Wonder if there's an extended cut of that.
Ooh, release the Wall Street cut.
Right. I'm gonna find out. But go on.
But another one of my favorite Scorsese movies, and I think this is very underrated, Gangs of New York.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I call it underrated. It was big when it first came out. But it kind of died down. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, it's just not as talked about as his other efforts.
But I love it. I love the film. And it really shows you the struggles that immigrants went through in the 19th century. that immigrants went through in the 19th century.
Yeah. Just want to let you know there is a 4-hour cut of Wolf of Wall Street somewhere out there if we can get it.
Wait, really?
I just checked Google, but go on.
Justin, where can we get it? Where can we get it? Where can we get it?
We're gonna break the internet. Alert the internet, kids. We're Wolf of Wall Street movie commentary for 4 hours coming soon to YouTube.
Where can we get it? We got to get it.
It's gonna take like 2 days to upload to YouTube.
Oh my god.
We have to do 2 parts for movie commentary. But go on, I digress.
No, where can we find it though?
I'll find out. I'll let you know when we're done. So
Okay, but no, Scorsese basically has the same type of films as, someone being at the top and then coming down. And like I said, it's like Goodfellas. My 3 favorites would be Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, and Gangs of New York would probably be my 3 favorites. And if anyone remembers from a year or 2 ago, I put Bill the Butcher as my top 5, as one of my top 5 movie villains.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love Marty Scorsese.
Alrighty.
His grittiness and everything else just makes his films fantastic. So my number 1 is Marty Scorsese. All right, JT, take us home.
I'll take you home, and then we're going to wrap it up for the night because we're going for about an hour and 16 minutes. Oh, my God. All right. Just to answer your question from before, Justin, there's exactly 5,000 words, roughly, in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which totals up to about 20 minutes.
That's still not a lot of speaking.
I know. It's a lot of visual. It's a lot of trippy visual. Anyways, I digress. All right. Well, if you were to come back and if you were to ask me this question when I was probably 10, I would say I would not give the answer I'm about to give. But given the fact that I'm not just saying this because I've seen most of this director's movies, I'm not just saying this because it's like he's one of the best to ever do it. Because I would say, like, when you make a list of anything, you have to. Arguably speaking, this director will forever be in my eyes, the greatest director of all time. And that's not really just in my opinion. That's like objectively speaking too. Talk about Steven Spielberg. Because listen, you can't listen. He has made, I want to say, arguably like some of the greatest movies. Like, listen, you could take at least 80 to 90% of Steven Spielberg's movies, and they would be considered to be the greatest movies of all time. Period. End of discussion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But wait, no, there's no buts. There's no ands, if, buts, or coconuts. Steven Spielberg is arguably, keyword, it's all subjective at the end of the day, but it's arguably the greatest director of all time. Now, because I didn't tell you guys why I wanted to choose this topic tonight. I wanted to choose this topic for us because I was doing a little homework and research about what we could do for a topic this week, and I said, and I was really quick, super short backstory. For those of you who don't know, we do this podcast and we do the Super Review Show because of a no longer active YouTube sensation channel called AMC Movie Talk. There was a clip on AMC Movie Talk at one point. It popped in my head about how there was a comparison between Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese and Christopher Nolan. I'm not going to get into the whole discussion about it, but basically what the video said was, the video said that this guy, the email question said, why is Christopher Nolan not on the same level as Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese? He said, he basically what the guy said was, let's talk in 20 years. But let's face it, Steven Spielberg, regardless how you feel about Nolan, about Jon Favreau, about any up-and-coming director, like Guillermo del Toro, regardless how you feel about any director that you like, Steven Spielberg has created and produced, literally, arguably speaking, the greatest movies of all time. And what the question brought up was, I love Nolan's films. Again, he was just saying specifically for Nolan. He was just like, oh, well, I love Memento. I love in The Prestige and whatnot too. But it's funny, if you say to someone on the street, hey, have you seen The Prestige? They probably won't know what it is. But if you say Jaws, boom,
everyone knows what it is.
If you say Jurassic Park, boom. You say E.T., boom. You say Close Encounters of the Third Kind, boom. If you say Raiders of the Lost Ark or Indiana Jones, boom. You know what you're talking about. You don't. If you say outside of The Dark Knight, Inception, and Oppenheimer, Interstellar, his bigger films, I'm just comparing our conversation tonight to the video that I saw. But basically, that is the conversation that I have. If you, Steven Spielberg, arguably and objectively speaking, is the best director of all time. I know Bill just said Martin Scorsese, but Scorsese's probably like neck.
Okay, you know what? Can I say something?
Really quick.
Scorsese was my favorite director.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's my mistake.
Favorite directors of all. If I had to go best directors of all time objectively, yes, I would say Spielberg.
Correct. And you just have to, because I mean, I feel like people. This is just, and I don't make this too long, but like basically people of our age who grew up in who were born in the late 90s and grew up in the 2000s and don't know a lot of his. They may know his name, but they haven't seen a lot of them. Get on it. Steven Spielberg's films are legendary for a reason. Period. End of discussion.
Here's the thing. So much of what Spielberg has done has been interwoven into every facet of Hollywood. Like
Yes.
any movie with the rating PG-13
It's because of him.
Thanks to
is because
Spielberg.
of this man.
Because of Gremlins, which he produced, and Temple of Doom. Hands
It's
down.
PG with a little mustard to it.
Yeah, literally, that's all it is.
That's
Not
literally what he pitched it as.
So
That's awesome.
again, I don't want to go. I don't want to make this whole thing because we got to end the show. But I'm just saying, objectively speaking, and for hands down, my favorite director and my personal favorite director of all time is, objectively speaking, the greatest director of all time. And if you can disagree with me all you want, you can think about this or that. You could say Nolan. You could say Guillermo del Toro. You could say Jon Favreau. You could say Taika Waititi. You could say Ryan Coogler. I know we talked about a couple of those guys tonight, but let's be real. You can even say Patty Jenkins, the Russo brothers, whoever. But let's be real. It's Steven Spielberg, hands freaking down. And I just want to add. I know I'm finally getting down to the end of it, but my favorite film by him is my favorite movie of all time.
Indiana Jones
is it's Raiders
Of the
of the
Lost
Lost Ark. If you've never seen it, get off my podcast and watch it now. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Get off my podcast that I pay out of my own pocket to run and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. You will not regret it. Harrison Ford's delivery is priceless and timeless. Need I say more, gentlemen?
I think you need to do a Harrison Ford finger point to drive your point up across.
Okay, so is that it for today?
That's it. Listen, this is a really good show. Ultimately, it's what you have to say out there. We want to thank you for watching, listening. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into our podcast, as always, right here on the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag. Bill, you have a sports something.
Sports Insanity Podcast. Check us out. We're on all platforms. NBA Finals are starting. Stanley Cup are here. Baseball's in full swing. Check us out.
Yep. They are available on all platforms. They do the best sports podcast. And I just want to say, Bill, live on air before we end, I have been plugging your sports podcast with some people that I work with. I'm not disclosing what I do, but some people are going to try and tune into the Sports Insanity Network more often. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hope that helps you out.
Our new PR guy, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. The host of the Super Review Show is promoting Sports Insanity
Works
Network.
for peanuts.
Exactly.
Literally peanuts.
I work for crazy people. No, I digress. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and listening, guys. For all of us here at the Super Review Show, please stay safe,
Take care.
take care, and
Be awesome.
be awesome.